Millions saw the footage. A jogger on Putney Bridge, a woman walking toward him, one sudden shove, a bus forced to swerve, and then for almost 9 years, silence. The video was short, but it stayed in people's mind because it looked so random. There was no argument, no visible warning, no long build-up, just a normal London morning turning dangerous in a few seconds. The woman survived. The bus driver reacts fast. The jogger kept running. For years, the public had the same question. Who was he? Then, in June 2026, police said a 44-year-old man had been arrested in connection with the case. But the arrest did not end the mystery, because soon after, reports said the man had been released on bail while inquiries continued. So now, the Putney Pusher case is no longer just an old viral CCTV clip. It is an old mystery with a new suspect, no conviction, and one question still hanging over the bridge. Did police finally find the man from the footage, or is it the hardest part of the case only beginning now? And to understand why this update matters, we have to go back to the morning when everything started. Putney Bridge is not the kind of place most people connect with a mystery like this. It is a busy crossing in southwest London. People walk over it, joggers use it, buses move through it, commuters pass each other without thinking twice. On May 5, 2017, a 33-year-old woman was walking across the bridge. She was not publicly named in the major reports. That mattered because even though the footage became famous, the woman at the center of it remained private. She was not a public figure. She was not looking for attention. She was just walking on the pavement when a man jogging in the opposite direction came toward her. The footage later released by police showed the jogger approaching. Other people were on the bridge. Traffic was moving beside the pavement. The woman was close to the road. Nothing in the public footage showed the fight before the shove. Nothing showed the conversation. Nothing showed a clear reason. That is part of why the case becomes so disturbing. The danger seemed to appear out of nowhere, and in the next few seconds the bridge went from ordinary to unforgettable. The incident happened during the morning rush. The woman was walking along the pavement on Putney Bridge when the jogger came toward her. As he passed, the footage appeared to show him pushing her. She moved off the pavement and into the road. And that moment, a bus was coming. The driver had almost no time to react, but he swerved away. That movement appears to have saved the woman from much more serious harm. Reports later said she avoided serious injury. The bus did not hit her in the way it could have. The driver's reaction became one of the most important facts in the whole case. The woman suffered minor injuries, according to reports at the time, but the strangest part came after the shove. Police later said the jogger continued running. Then, according to reports, he came back across the bridge around 15 minutes later. The woman tried to speak to him. He did not stop. That detail made the case feel even more unsettling because if the footage showed the mistake, why not stop? If it was accidental, why not explain? The public did not have those answers. And when police released the footage months later, the first clue was the one everyone could see. In August 2017, the case became national news after police released CCTV footage. The video was clear enough to show the incident, but it was not clear enough to solve the case quickly. The man in the footage was a jogger. He wore running clothes, he moved with purpose, but the public image did not give investigators an easy identity. That created a strange situation. Millions of people could watch what happened, but no one could clearly say who the jogger was. The footage spread across news sites and social media. People froze frames, people compared images, people shared theories, but online attention is not the same as evidence. Police needed more than a viral clip. They needed identification that could stand up to investigation. That meant checking names, alibis, routes, possible witnesses, and anyone who could connect a real person to the man on the bridge. Soon names began to enter a public conversation, but the first wave of attention did not bring a clean answer. Instead, it showed how dangerous a viral case can become when everyone can see the crime, but no one can prove the identity. Police worked the case after the footage was released. Reports said investigators spoke to many men as they tried to identify the jogger. There were arrests in the years after the incident, but those arrests did not lead to charges. One man who was publicly linked to the case denied involvement, and reports said he had evidence showing he was not in the country at the time. That was an important warning. The image was powerful, but the image alone was not enough. The case needed proof. The problem was simple and difficult at the same time. The incident happened quickly. The suspect did not stay. The woman did not know him, based on the public reporting, and the footage showed the act but not the name. By 2018, the Metropolitan Police had closed the investigation after no charges were brought. That made the Putney Bridge case one of Britain's most memorable unsolved CCTV mysteries, not because there was no footage, but because there was footage and still no answer. For years, that was where the case sat. A bridge, a shove, a bus, a jogger, and no confirmed identity. Then years later, the case suddenly moved again. The most confusing part of the Putney Bridge case was not only the solve, it was the behavior after it. According to reports, the jogger kept going after the woman was pushed into the road. Then he was said to have returned across the bridge later. The woman reportedly tried to speak to him. He ignored her. That detail mattered because it made the public question what kind of incident this was. Was it deliberate attack? Was it reckless action in a moment of anger? Was there something before the CCTV clip that the public never saw? Police treated the incident seriously. The 2026 arrest was on suspicion of attempt grievous bodily harm. But suspicion is not guilt, and the public clip does not answer every question. It does not tell us what the jogger was thinking. It does not prove motive. It does not show whether the woman and the jogger had any prior connection. It does not explain why he allegedly returned but did not stop. That is why the case stayed alive in public memory. It had enough footage to disturb people, but not enough answers to close the story. And then came the update that brought the case back into the headlines. On June 15, 2026, the Metropolitan Police said a 44-year-old man had been arrested on suspicion of attempt grievous bodily harm. Police said the arrest revealed to the May 2017 incident, where a woman was pushed into the path of a bus on Putney Bridge. This was the first major breakthrough in years. The case had seemed close. The identity of the jogger had seemed lost. The trail had gone cold. Then suddenly a man was in custody. But the update did not finish the story. Reports later said that while the man was in custody, he was also arrested on suspicion of possession of Class A and Class B drug. Then come the part that makes the title matter. He was released on bail while the investigation continued. That does not mean he is innocent. It does not mean he is guilty. It means police still had work to do. And this is where the mystery becomes more complicated, because after almost 9 years, an arrest is a major development, but without charge, without a court case, and without conviction, the public still does not have a final answer. The Putney Bridge case reopened, but it did not close. The confirmed evidence begins with the CCTV footage. It shows the jogger and the woman on Putney Bridge. It shows the woman being pushed into the road. It shows a bus coming close. It shows the driver swerving. It shows how fast the incident happened. The confirmed timeline placed the incident on May 5th, 2017. The confirmed police update is that a 44-year-old man was arrested in June 2026 on suspicion of attempt grievous bodily harm. The confirmed current position, based on reports, is that he was bailed while inquiries continued. The woman survived the original incident. The bus driver avoided a far worse result. The footage became one of the most discussed CCTV clips in Britain. But the legal story remains unfinished. There is no final court outcome in the public record from this new arrest. There is no confirmed conviction. There is no official statement saying the mystery is solved. That's why the strongest way to tell this story is not as a finished case. It is a reopened mystery, a case that appeared to have gone cold, a case that returned almost 9 years later, a case where the public now knows there was an arrest, but still does not know whether that arrest will lead to charges. And until that happened, the bridge still holds the same question it has held since 2017. The Putney Pusher case became famous because it was simple to understand and harder to solve. A woman was walking, a jogger passed her, a shove sent her toward danger, a bus driver swerved, the woman survived, the jogger disappeared. For years that was the story. Then police made an arrest, but instead of ending the mystery, the updates added a new layer, because an arrest after almost 9 years raises hope, bail raises question, and the case with no charge still leaves the public in the space between suspicion and proof. That is the uncomfortable truth of this story. The footage made people feel certain that a crime had happened, but certainty about what happened is not the same as certainty about who did it. The next stage depends on evidence the public has not seen. It depends on whether police can connect the man they arrested to the jogger on the bridge. It depends on whether prosecutors believe the case can go forward. And until that answer comes, the Putney Bridge mystery remains open. Not because people forgot the footage, but because after all these years, the biggest question is still waiting. Was the man arrested in 2026 truly the jogger on the bridge, or is it the Putney Pusher case still one step away from the proof it needs?